let's talk about 3 ways that you can pull yourself out of the generator plateau. So if you're new to human design, welcome. This is my channel When the Stars Aligned. My name's Kelly, and if you're a generator in human design, you may or may not have heard of the plateau part of your cycle. As generators, we are deeply cyclical beings. We move with the rhythms of nature, right? And every generator has their capacity to be blossoming and flowering and offering the fruits of their energy, but so much of what creates that in a sustainable way is learning how to also decompose and break down commitments, projects, investments, things that have kind of run their course, so that you can start back up from the beginning and have fresh energy continually. Generators are not here to just constantly be burning, contrary to popular belief and what a lot of people say about generators. We are very cyclical beings, and there is a natural part of the generator life cycle of creation known as the plateau. And usually this comes after you've gotten a response to something, right? You have felt that sacral response, and if you don't know about sacral response, I'll pin a video in the comments below in the caption so you can check out more about the sacral response of being a generator. But let's say you've gotten a response, you've started taking some action, and then you hit this wall, right? I think all humans can relate to that wall of stagnation and entropy. And this is known as, for generators, the plateau. And there is a wisdom in the plateau, because we're not, again, meant to be constantly burning. Generators do not wake up with explosive energy to just bounce out of bed and chase the day. Again, contrary to popular pop culture human design belief. And so much of what makes a generator's power consistent is how well you tend to yourself in the lows, in the plateaus, and in those slower moments of your own satisfaction. So when you hit the plateau, you're in a place where you've had the response and the energy is waning a little bit. And then there's like a red pill, blue pill. We can collapse in that, and I for sure have had many moments in generator collapse where my mind, right, I won't say the enemy, it's a little too dramatic of language for me, but the devil on the shoulder of the mind says something's wrong with this. And also outside beliefs do not support this so much, especially when generators are hearing all the time that you just need to be energized and always constantly moving. It can feel like, well, is something wrong that I'm in a plateau and that I don't feel this energy? And we can collapse in the plateau, which is something that I think we have to experience, but we want to start getting better at catching it. And the collapse can look like making it mean something in our mind more than just, oh, I'm low energy right now. I'm in a plateau moment, right? And this is where things like human design and astrology can really support us with bolstering our mind with a level of awareness, so that when we meet these experiences in our embodied day-to-day life, we have a different way of viewing them. We get to change our perception on them, therefore our reality will shift. Reality is all perception. So we can collapse, and we can fall into it, and we can make it wrong and give it a whole bunch of meaning. Second option, we can embrace it. We can acknowledge it. And this is, for me, when things drastically change. And then I'm going to give you a few tips on things you can physically, practically do to remedy the plateau into a natural, organic way of getting the energy flowing again. So the first thing is acknowledging it. Instead of falling into the collapse of, why don't I have the energy? What is wrong? I'm frustrated now. This isn't working. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that wasn't the correct response. Maybe I don't have what it takes, whatever. Instead, I'm going to invite you to try on the internal language and maybe even verbalizing it of, oh, I'm in a plateau right now. Cool. This is a plateau. This is what a plateau moment feels like. This feeling is not final. Let me come back to my body. Am I even in my body right now? Or am I just thinking? Or am I future projecting on all the things that are going to go wrong because this didn't happen, or all the things that I want to go right if this happens, and what I need to do, X, Y, Z? Again, we lose all of our power as generators when we misdirect our attention and our awareness fully to our higher operating centers. And I see people do this all the time. Even people who have a really good bandwidth for energy. It's like the mind will continue to lead us astray. And we will be in these loops where we're continually collapsing and plateauing because we're not just coming back to the simplicity of the body and letting things reveal. Ra would talk about this a lot, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it in human design. It's so interesting. He would often say that being an embodied generator is one of the most mysterious, wild, courageous things that any human being could do, because you're literally signing up to be so devoted to the moment. Not the future projecting, not what you think you need to do, or what your mentor told you to do, or what your psychic told you to do, or what you think you need to do to get X, Y, Z, and figuring it all out, figuring things out, although there is a time and place for that. So much of that is trying to protect people from this like inherent primal fear of the unknown. Well, I have to know, because if I don't know, then I won't be able to control my reality and have the outcome I want. If you're devoted to showing up in an embodied, empowered way as a generator, that's not going to work for you. Now, this also doesn't mean you sit around doing nothing. We work with the energy of the plateau, because I believe what the plateau is trying to teach us is how to bring all of our power back into our body and our somatic experience. So first step, try not to collapse when you hit a plateau. Those moments of, oh, I don't know what's going on. Why is this? And I have my own flavor of that. But I've learned, and what I do now is I say, hi, plateau, come and have a seat. Let's just cozy up with a book for like 30 minutes and let me like welcome you into this space right now, instead of running away from you or avoiding you or fear-mongering you or putting all these diagnoses on you. I'll let it be what it is. And 100% of the time when I do that, I already get a shift in my frequency, right? It's us avoiding the plateau that creates more collapse, distortion, pain, unnecessary suffering, and loops where we have to then go back to the beginning. So we lean into it. And then here are some things, practical tips of what you can do as a generator to slowly coax your energy from that plateau stage that's inevitable into a flowing state. 1, have some fun. And I know sometimes this is hard to do. And I say that because I've experienced that. Sometimes having fun is the last thing I want to do. Like, this is not the time for fun, Kelly. This is serious. You need to figure this out. Don't be so naive. Don't be so lackadaisical. Having fun is silly and irresponsible, right? And I know all of that is not my voice. That's the voice of things I picked up in parenthood, things I picked up from, a partner. It's just like BS. It's not true. And we come back to our generator baseline of sacral expression. And sacral expression is creative. It's inherently sensual and innocent and playful. It's expressive. So I will dance. And it's not just like I'm there like putting music on like, okay, I'm dancing, why don't you work now, right? And because I work with people and sometimes they say, well, I did do that. And it's like, but did you really, or did you only do it to the extent that you were trying to check off a box, right? Like, we're actually talking about getting your energy fully immersed in the moment. So I'll like kind of coach myself. I'll be like, wow, you're really letting this one get a hold of you, Kelly. I think you need to put on some music. I think you need to shake your butt. I think you need to do the worm. Like, I'll like coax myself into lightening up my mentality and my attitude, and I'll dance. And that is a huge way that I get the energy flowing again. Now the second one, it's a little less like fun, but it's still effective. I will actually just like take action on something that really needs to get done. And this could be anything. This could be cleaning up the sink and emptying the dishwasher. This could be folding the laundry that's sitting on the couch, right? I'll look around for things that I could use my sacral energy in a conducive way to just kind of like get the fires moving a little bit. But I'll make it pleasant while I'm doing it. I'll burn a candle. I'll play some music. I'll take little breaks in between and like jot down notes. Like I'll make it immersive, right? So it's like becoming embodied is always the key for being a generator and for getting the most out of a life experience. If we're only thinking about the experience or intellectualizing about the experience, we're not going to get any benefit. Now the third thing I like to do when, and I suggest doing, when you're trying to coax your energy out of a plateau, and this is a fun one, this is a real fun one, but it requires some energy. It requires an openness and willingness. I will shift up my style. As generators, we are and hang with me because I know this sounds so simple, but it's really quite, like when it's embodied, it's quite powerful. As generators, we are cyclical beings. We are here to know what it is to take in like energy, to create with our life force, to bring something into fruition, and then to go through that process of recycling, decomposing, and then regenerating. It's so much like a flower out in nature, or like a tree. And often as generators, we can get stuck in old cycles. And I'm not saying that every week you need to like change up your whole aesthetic and style. Maybe if you have an open G center, you might like that. But if you're feeling like you're really stuck in a plateau, you might not be able to move forward because you're not creating a new template to move forward into. So you might want to kind of seduce that new frequency into your reality. Like, are there things you're wearing that when you put them on, you just kind of feel like literally, like things have frequency, right? Like a certain piece of clothing could definitely emanate a sense of plateau and stagnation, and a certain piece of clothing could emanate joy, fun, zestiness. So when you kind of filter through your belongings, your home, what you're surrounding yourself with, what you're putting on your body, you shift your own frequency. And this is something we want to do. Again, like I can't stress this enough. It's not so much about doing the thing, it's about how you do it. Because like I have time, I have from my own experience in the past, I've just done things that I thought would get me a result. Like I start taking this product or doing this thing, but it doesn't work because I'm not doing it with my full presence. So when you're shifting up your style or your aesthetic or the art in your room or what you're listening to, don't do it just because you're trying to get a result. Do it as if you're meeting a new frequency of yourself. Like you're meeting a new expression of yourself. And that's where the magic is. Like you have to learn to turn yourself on in that way. And as generators, that's what we're here to do. And we're here to turn on the world, honestly. Like we're here to light up the world, but we can't do that if we are not lit up. So a beautiful way to come out of that plateau is to notice, like, where am I just, pardon the dramatic language again, but like, where am I just dead? And what needs to go so that fresh energy can come in? How can I liven things up? How can I turn my spark back on? Let me play with my music, my clothing, what I'm eating. Like bring more life into your reality, more color, and really feel it, really like experience it. And you will, through that, experience more of yourself. So that's my share on the sacral plateau and some tips for navigating that. And I hope you enjoyed. If you want to work one-on-one, I'm offering new spaces for one-on-one immersive coaching. I love doing this deep work with clients. And of course, I still have my readings and astrocartography, so you can check all that out below. And I hope to catch you on a future video.